Howdy YouTube, today we're taking a look at the Godzilla Toyvault Gigan plush toy. Now it is incredible once something becomes a cult classic how much prices just skyrocket, and Godzilla toys and plush things and all that sort of junk is no exception to the rule. If you've seen some of my other videos, you'll know that there are some wrestling figures that go for ridiculous prices. There's a lot of Dragon Ball Z figures that go for ridiculous prices. I think Godzilla is right up there, along with Dragon Ball Z, for being just the most outlandish, overpriced merchandise out there. It is extremely rare, and by that I mean at the time when it was released, it came out in a semi-limited capacity. So I guess that justifies it a little bit, but at the same time, like even this guy, you look on eBay and things like that, people are asking in excess of $300 for Godzilla plush toys, which to me is just the most ludicrous, outrageous thing ever. I actually paid about $100 for this guy, which even that is ridiculously expensive and a little disappointing. But at the same time, I guess I'm just a big Godzilla fan. So I was one of the morons that forked out the money for him. It is kind of cool, admittedly. One thing I was really impressed with, like, look at the size of this. It is a giant plush toy. Certainly dwarfs the big 2014 Godzilla. It dwarfs the other Godzilla plush toys like your Mothra and King Ghidorah. It also dwarfs the recently released Mechagodzilla and some of the older school figures like the Space Godzilla as well. So in that respect, it is pretty cool. It is very accurate to Gigan. One of the coolest Godzilla monsters, and really, I guess, is a little bit of a weird one. I mean, in Godzilla Final Wars, which I think is a terribly appalling movie, he is one of the best parts in that. The monsters in that were excellent. And King Ghidorah made an appearance as part of Monster X, and that was, I think, one of the best-looking Godzilla monsters ever. But Gigan was a close second. He looked brilliant in that movie, and the backstory behind him was excellent too. This is the Gigan we get from, of course, the classic Godzilla vs. Gigan, which has some great fight scenes, but is a terrible movie. And then, of course, you've got Godzilla vs. Megalon, where this guy makes an appearance, and that is, I think, the worst Godzilla of all time. That's the one where if you YouTube it, it's the infamous Godzilla flying across doing the drop kick. And that movie is just all over the place, that one. That's where they tried to promote Jet Jaguar, and I still get nightmares thinking about watching it. Anyway, with the Gigan, he's got the trademark chainsaw in his chest there. A really cool design for a monster, if I'm honest. He's got that like cybernetic feel to him. One thing I'm a little disappointed is, check that out. That has come off. I need to ask for a refund, I think. But otherwise, it is a really cool looking plush toy. It's huge. Hopefully you guys can see the tail and everything like that. He's got the, I guess wings. He does fly, which is kind of cool. He almost is like the most OP, stereotypical Japanese monster. Let's get a giant dinosaur. Let's give him robotic parts. Let's make him fly, laser breath. Let's give him hooks for hands. He's the first monster, interestingly, to make Godzilla bleed. I think that's pretty cool. Nice shot there. I love the cartoon graphic of Gigan. That's pretty sick. Taking a look on the back as well. This guy actually made a number of appearances in the old school, I think it was late 70s, early 80s maybe, Japanese TV show based on Godzilla. He also appears in a lot of the comic books, and in the comic books he's fantastic. So that is some consolation. The read-up on the back says, a fusion of flesh and technology. Gigan hails from the Nebula M Space Hunter. Evil cockroach-like aliens, sent this cyborg monster to Earth on a mission with King Ghidorah to destroy human civilization and thus pave the way for the installation of a new alien civilization and the perfect peace. Far out. Gigan sets out in a spree of destruction with evident glee, toppling towers, smashing ships, and slicing and dicing. I like that one, slice and dice. Reminds me of Slap Chop. Its way through downtown Tokyo. On the intervention of Godzilla and Anguirus could slow this demon of demolition. I love it. Lots of alliteration here. It's good. Gigan has a distinctive raspy cry and uses powerful blows from his hook-like hammer claws to demolish any mammoth structure blocking its path. Eye boasts, it does say eye, but that doesn't make sense. Eye boasts a cranial horn, scythe-clawed feet, okay, and 3 dorsal fins on which it flies. Gigan delights in attacking from the air, dive bombing its opponents, gashing them with a buzzsaw cutting in its belly. Far out. It also sports tooth-like hooked beak below a single wing, wine-eyed. Jesus, man, it's tall font, hot day. It is not going well for a retro viewer. Publicly, stills show Gigan firing a laser beam from its forehead, but this power was never displayed during its on-screen appearances. That's kind of interesting. Since Gigan's partnership with King Ghidorah was foiled, Godzilla and Anguirus and its subsequent team-up with Megalon was also a failure. The cyborg no doubt still lurks in space, waiting for another chance to wreak havoc on Earth. That was a mouthful, but a really cool read-up. Actually, that's probably one of the best read-ups of any review I've done on this channel, which is always nice. Overall, I love this plush toy. I'm a big Godzilla fan, and this is probably the best one I've come across. Gigan is a notorious Godzilla monster. Certainly very cool. Lots of great detail on him. Toyvault did a fantastic job. I only wish these were more accessible and a lot cheaper, because there's a lot of monsters I really want to get. Biollante, Space Godzilla, Destroyer. All really cool figures. Even Rodan. There's a guy selling Rodan on eBay for like 400 Australian dollars now, which is just, I don't know who's going to pay that, but it's a little bit of a shame. But if you get a chance to pick this guy up for cheap, it's well worth it, even if you have to pay a little bit for him. I'm a big fan of this, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this review on the Toyvault Godzilla plush Gigan.